This next paragraph is one long sentence, so I'll read it out and then go through it. What I'd like to bear in mind though is that this is not a philosophical teaching. It's something which should have practical use. And I mention this because the paragraph itself seems like it's getting right out there in terms of metaphysical and philosophical explorations. But I want to bring it right back down to practical use. So let's see what it says first. Brahman alone exists as if it were the world, the one as if divided, the pure as if impure, the full as if void, the void as if full, movement as if stable and vice versa, the unmodified as if modified, the tranquil as if restless, the reality as if non-existent, consciousness as if inert, the self as if the object, the not self as if the self, the eternal as if perishable, the unknowable as if knowable, the obvious as if shrouded in darkness, and though it is all existence, it is difficult to see it. So, on a practical level, what is going on? Everything is going on right here. Right here. There are a lot of notions going on here, which we identify as out there. And we get caught up in that identification. The attention gets caught up in identifying with notions of things out there. This is what our education does. This is what science tells us, that there's a world out there. And that's fine within that level of relating, that level of being. But we're looking deeper than that. And we're going to actually be scientific in the sense of being purely empirical, direct observation. Direct observation means going beyond any assumptions. And when you do this honestly and uncompromisingly, you come back to here with a capital H. This is Brahman. And whenever you try to say something about it, you get caught up in there again. You get caught up in notions. And you get caught up in contradictions, because whenever you try to say something about Brahman, you get contradictory statements. So in this paragraph, we've got a list of things describing Brahman. Brahman alone exists, the one, the pure, the full, the void, movement, stability, the unmodified, the tranquil, reality, consciousness, self, not self, eternal, unknowable, obvious, difficult to see. So we've got a list of things there relating to Brahman, and then we've got the world. Brahman alone exists as if it were the world. Now, the world is non-different from Brahman. The latter part of each phrase here, of each clause, is the appearance. We've got the world, divided, impure, void, full, in motion, stable, modified, restless, non-existent, inert, object, self, perishable, knowable, shrouded in darkness. So let's go through each of these ones. Brahman alone exists as if it were the world. This is the basic distinction we make, don't we? We say there's a world out there. That's our starting point. Well, from the point of view of our education, it's our starting point. We're told there's a world out there, and that's what we're going to learn about. We learn about the world out there. So there's the world. Now, if we're on the ball, we say that the world, there's awareness of the world. The world is within that awareness, and this is what is right here. So we can use the existence of all this going on out here as a pointer to remind us to bring our attention right back here. So that's the basic distinction between the world and I. Not I in any egoistic sense, because the ego I is also notional, it's also part of the world, but I as in the sense of pure awareness. It seems to be divided. There's lots of different aspects to the world, lots of different entities, but it's all arising in the one awareness. So again, whatever we experience, whatever we think we're experiencing, we come back to the realization that it's all happening in awareness. Now, awareness isn't some vague notion here. Awareness is the attention. Your attention is active right now. Even if you're daydreaming, it's caught up in a daydream, but hopefully it's attending to what is being said here. So the attention is always somewhere. The pure as if impure. The world seems impure. In what sense is it impure? There seems to be a lot of things wrong with it. A lot of negative emotions. Again, that's often what our attention is drawn to. By investigation, by inquiry, we observe that the attention is drawn to that, and we use that to come back to the attention, to come back to here. The world appears void. In what way is the world void? It's void of any satisfaction, of any ultimate satisfaction. Brahman is full in the sense that it gives us that satisfaction, that ultimate satisfaction. The answers to all our questions come to rest in Brahman, in the here and now. The world sometimes seems full. There's a lot going on in it. It's full of what? It's full of promise. It's full of enticement. It's full of distractions. Brahman is void of all that. There are no empty promises in Brahman. You can understand this in your own way. I'm given a possible way of using this paragraph. Feel free to use it in your own way. Movement as if stable and vice versa. Brahman is often described as motionless. But here it's being described as movement, and it appears as stability, as non-movement. Movement can refer to the movement of the attention. The attention is moving around all over the place, usually automatically, being hijacked here and there. And it's that movement which sets up its own pattern, which is the ego pattern, the characteristic ego pattern. And that seems stable. So the movement of the attention is what is giving rise to the ego pattern. That's all that's actually ever going on, is the attention moving around. On the deepest level, all that is happening is the attention is moving, or it's at rest in itself. The unmodified is if modified. The attention gets caught up in so many different things. There's no limit to the variety of things the attention can get caught up in. And it identifies with what it gets caught up in. So we could say it gets modified, but the attention is really beyond modification. It's only when it identifies with something that it loses itself. But the nature of the attention never changes.